everyone, so I'm Veronica and this is
Beji,
and you've probably seen her in some of my other videos. We go to UCL together and as you know I study economics
and I do applied medical sciences,
and we just thought it would be a nice idea to answer some questions about like our courses, UCL and London life in general. So each of us will like answer the questions so you have like a broader perspective. That's why I brought in a guest and she's my first guest on this channel, so like a round of applause please. So we'll start with our courses. So the question is, how are you liking your course so far and have you considered other like paths? So for me, I study economics and to be fair, I'm not the biggest fan of economics so far, and I don't know if it's like the online uni thing or is it just the course that doesn't really resonate with me. I find it to be very like mathematical and I'm not sure if that's just like career path for me. I'm still like considering whether I should carry on with it, but like that's another topic. And have I considered other paths? I wanted to study psychology at some point. I did psychology and IB and like didn't really vibe with it, so I dropped the idea. How about you?
So I study applied medical sciences, as I said, and actually I really like my course so far because it's like very like broad, and I wanted to do psychology as well and then medicine, but then I kind of decided it's too like practical for me and I kind of want to do research. I really like it because like I feel that my teachers or like lecturers are trying to make it as practical as they can. It's like, yeah, I really like it.
Okay, so now for the like UCL questions. So we're gonna be spilling some tea. How intense are the classes? How hard it is to balance it with social life?
For example, I thought that my course is not as hard as like I wanted it to be, but ever since I started talking to like other people who study different courses, I realized that I study a lot more than other people.
We're both Virgos, so that's another thing.
I realize I study a lot more than other people. I don't find it that hard to balance social life and like studying.
I also feel like our experience in the first year is kind of biased because the first year obviously is like the easiest one, I suppose.
Yeah, but also I feel like I studied more in high school than I studied in my first year at university. So
yeah, I mean, if you study for like exams, then depending on how hard you tried or like how much like effort you put in, then I would say that first year of uni is like pretty chill compared to that. But the classes, I would say they're not that intense. The material is kind of hard. Sometimes you have to spend more time on your own educating yourself of the topic if you don't understand something.
I just feel like it's a lot more like individual. You have to like study on your own a lot more than in high school, for example.
I have, for example, weeks when I have like 6 hours of classes. I have like weeks when I have 10, but I usually don't have more than that. And the rest of it like is just self-study. The next question is, did you struggle to get into UCL as an international student? No. It's not much harder to get into UCL as an international student, but I did IB, for example. So I think that the IB prepared me really well for application for unis abroad.
So I didn't do IB or A-levels or anything like that. I think I'm the only person that I know who didn't do IB or A-levels. No, I actually know one other person. I didn't find it that hard, to be fair. I always kind of wanted to like study in the UK or in London. You just have to like have strong personal statement and like have the grades and that's it. Then it's just luck, literally.
The next question is, what are the 3 main things you love about your uni? What I find really nice about UCL is that there are lots of different courses you can do, which means that, well, you get a broad choice when you apply. You can consider like different paths or maybe courses that you wouldn't have found on other unis. The other thing is that if you meet people from your uni, you're meeting people with like lots of different interests. There's a variety of courses and UCL it's a good uni for all of them almost. And for example, you have schools such as LSE which are more focused on like the social sciences. What is the thing you like about UCL most? Nothing.
I had to like really think about it.
The libraries though.
Yeah, I really like the libraries.
Center.
The student center. What I like about UCL is that you meet people from like all paths of life, I guess. Like they can be from different countries, they're interested in so many like different things. You really get to know a lot of people from like different backgrounds.
And it's very like inclusive in terms of that, so...
But I guess that applies to like almost every uni in London.
I'd say it's like pretty chill. That's the general like opinion about UCL, especially when people compare it to LSE or like Imperial, maybe.
I would say that UCL has like this work hard, play hard mentality.
Yeah. If you try, it's easy to balance out like social life and studies. No, I actually like UCL.
Yeah, I like UCL as well.
Like I feel like a part of a community, you know? Like when I study in the library, I'm like, we're all UCL.
Everyone you meet from your uni, you automatically have like a bond with them. Because you're going through the same things.
And I didn't have that in high school.
Yeah.
What makes your application stand out?
did you write in your personal statement?
I found the subject that I want to study, I guess, in my 3rd year of high school, and then I just found books that were like relevant and sound like semi-interested, and while I was reading them I just like took some notes, things that I could like pinpoint in my personal statement. And also, I don't know if it's available to like all international students, but I applied for a mentor from Project Access.
I also had this thing in Slovakia when you could like apply for something and the person checked out your personal statement and helped you with it.
For me, it was like a student who already did what I wanted to do, so it was like an UCL,
Yeah, exactly.
UCL or LSE like econ student. I got so fixated at including some like relevant experience, what I achieved, but I think what's even more important is showing actual interest in.
Yeah, exactly. I think you have to show like your motivation and your interest in the thing that you want to study.
This one's gonna be fun. Your opinion on UCL accommodation, your experience with them.
Ooh, you start.
Okay, so we both got assigned to Campbell House.
Campbell House.
It's divided into east and west. They're just like facing each other on opposite sides. That's actually how we met, kind of like through the area. We met on the street.
We were just standing on the street.
We actually met on the street. And so Campbell House,
great location. That's it.
the location is actually like genuinely ideal, because if we were to attend UCL in person, then we would have 5-10 minutes to like every UCL facility. Student center is literally like 2-minute walk. The rest is not really that great. I've heard that people who lived in like lower grounds or like ground level, there were like rats. We had issues with the vacuum cleaners. It's just all old, like you don't have...
It's kind of like rusty.
Yeah, rusty is the word. What I don't like about Campbell House is like the system of like floors. In most student accommodation you have like flats, right? So you have the kitchen that you share among 10-15 people and you all socialize in the kitchen, but we have floors with how many people were there per kitchen?
Like it varies. It was only like 6 people in my kitchen.
If you don't really vibe with the people in the kitchen, you don't really have any alternatives. We didn't really go between each other's kitchen because it was like all locked.
My building was really bad because we didn't even have like a laundry room, so I had to do my laundry in her building, so I had to cross the street every time I wanted to do my laundry. And my kitchen was 2 floors down, my bathroom was 1 floor down, so it was just like really bad. I couldn't close one of my windows, and when I like emailed reception about it, they didn't do anything.
I think the ceiling in my kitchen was leaking as well, and like it turned out to be water from the toilet. I'm not sure, like someone said that, I'm not sure how true was that.
So now we live in garden halls and it's like so much nicer. I even pay £5 less per week, which is crazy.
Because the standards are just, they're so different. Like I guess you can't really choose your UCL accommodation. You can apply for gardens, I think.
You can apply to gardens. Like if you apply through the UCL portal, you cannot choose your accommodation, so it's just luck.
How to have the best uni experience when everything's online? You don't.
You just cry in your room. No, I feel like because we didn't have the normal uni experience, it's not that hard for us, because I can't even imagine like going to parties or even going to cafes or to classes.
In hindsight, would you have preferred to take a gap year and have a full uni experience?
I wouldn't, because I met like so many nice people already, and like online uni sucks. I don't really mind it that much. Like as I said before, I never had the proper uni experience, so I don't feel like I'm missing out on that much. And also I'm already kind of old. I'm 20. Taking a gap year would set me back.
In UK, they finish school like a year earlier than we do in Poland. It depends on the system, but many people generally, I would say, are younger than us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to take gap year because of the experience that I got, but I would say that if I were doing like uni remotely completely and never came to London, then I would probably. The studying experience is not that great, but like...
You don't go to uni just to study.
Yeah.
You go to uni to like experience stuff and to like grow up.
There were a lot of questions about like London life in general. Were you sure about the city you wanted to study in, or did you consider any other locations?
In my case, I was sure that I want to study in London. I only applied to unis in London because I knew I want to be in a big city. I lived in a kind of small city. It was the capital of Slovakia, but it's still really small compared to London. So I only applied to London unis and then Oxford, but like, let's not talk about that.
I also wanted to study in London. I applied to other unis, Warwick and Manchester, but I only wanted to go to London. I don't even know why I applied there, because I was like not really wanting to go there. Favorite thing about living in London for me was that London is not only a university city. I didn't go to uni only for the institution, but like the whole city. There's just like lots of things to do, and obviously London is a really nice city. Maybe not in terms of weather, but like there are so many places to go with, like so many restaurants. It's great for vegans.
I feel like there's always something happening in London, even if it's COVID. Like, but you can always find stuff to do and like places to go.
Do you think that studies in London are for everyone? Probably not.
No.
Well, first of all, you have to be kind of independent and willing to...
I feel like it's really easy to get lonely in London.
Someone's always doing something, and I get kind of FOMO because of that. But obviously, like, there's factors such as, do you want to live close to your family? Like, do you want to be able to, like, travel really often? You have to really consider if living in a big city on your own is something for you, and if you're, like, willing to face the challenge, I'd say.
It's not comfortable to live in London on your own because, like, we're all kids, like, away from our parents for the first time. Okay, this is, like, a totally, like, different topic, but you have to put yourself to uncomfortable situations to grow as a person. And I feel that's what studying abroad is, like, about.
But I'd say it's, like, a huge growing experience, and we're only at the beginning of our journey. How safe would you say London is?
Just don't speak to strangers, keep walking.
No, I feel like London got a bad rep, especially from the people I knew who studied in London already. I've never personally felt like endangered in London.
Yeah, same. I feel like a lot of people try to talk to you. What you have to do is to learn not to like answer to them and just like keep walking and ignore them. And
if you're like keeping the basic precautions, not walking with your phone out, for example, you just have to be smart about it. But it's, I wouldn't say it's like more dangerous than like many other big cities. It's a big city.
But also we live in like quite like safe area.
How expensive is it to live in London? I would say that everything besides food is more expensive, especially if you come from like Eastern Europe. Literally, I only spend money on food right now.
No, like going to bars, alcohol, obviously. But you have also more variety. You can buy like very cheap food.
Yeah.
But you can also buy like really expensive food.
For example, what I found was like vegan products was like less expensive than in my city, and that was a big part of my spending. Eating out is expensive. A sandwich is £5. Like, that's unimaginable in Poland.
You can manage. If you're smart with your money, it's okay.
I think like going out is the most expensive part. How much were the tequila shots?
Oh yeah, it was £5 for one tequila shot.
Okay, so these were all the questions. I hope we've answered like the majority of them. And yeah, thank you so much for being on my channel. You're my first guest. Hopefully not the last. I'll have her Insta in the description so she can have a little promo. So go follow her, go follow me. I'll see you in another video.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.